Hello, clever people, and welcome to my review for The Current War. So The Current War is coming to us from the director of Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, and it stars actors such as Benedict Cumberbatch and Michael Shannon and Tom Holland, and it follows the story, the real-life story, of the war between Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla for who first invented electricity, or not invented electricity, but who first utilized it so widespread so that the average person had electricity and that lights could be on around the world. So The Current War is a movie that had been through production hell. It came out back, I think, 2 years ago in 2017, and initial festival reviews were so terrible that they had to take back, do some reshoots, try to re-edit the movie, and then eventually, voila, we get the director's cut in theaters. They're calling it the director's cut for some reason, as if the movie had already come out and this is the more real version, but it hadn't come out anywhere, so I don't know why they're calling it the director's cut. But I was interested in this movie because despite all the terrible reviews, I liked the idea and I really loved Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. That's one of my top 50 movies of all time. That movie really kind of helped me shape my idea of what an ideal movie is and the kind of emotion that a movie needs to bring. And honestly, it's one of those milestones. There's a lot of milestone movies where this particular movie helped advance my love for film at a certain time, and Me and Earl and the Dying Girl was one of those checkpoint movies for me. And I will say this about The Current War, it's not a great movie. It's very problematic, and in fact, the re-edits and the rearrangement of the movie is very, very obvious because the way that this movie feels so jumbled and mixed-matched, and it seems like scenes flow together in ways that are so completely inconsistent. It feels like the timing on everything is so weird, and Tom Holland's hair keeps changing for some reason. So yes, there are quite a few problems with the way that this movie was re-edited, but I'm sure it's better than the editing in the original first copy of this film. Because as blueprints, this movie is decent. The performances are pretty good. All the sets are really cool looking, and generally the way that this story flows forward and the way that it's told is entertaining. I'm not gonna lie, I was entertained while watching this movie. However, there are so many ways that this movie could have been better, and for the director that it had and all of the actors that were in it, this movie really should be exceptional. It should be a movie that everybody's talking about for the awards season. And really, the biggest hindrance to it is that it spends so much of its time trying to focus on different storylines and different subplots that really don't feel like they go together. In all honesty, it kind of feels like a murder mystery movie that has no clue what character to focus on because it's constantly hopping around and it's constantly changing who you're supposed to view as the bad guy and who you're supposed to view as a good guy. There are a lot of smart director moments in here though. There's certain scenes that come out of nowhere, like towards the end of the movie, there's a conversation between Tesla and Thomas Edison, and in the middle of their conversation, a little girl goes up and tries to get a signature from Benedict Cumberbatch or Edison, and that little moment helps symbolize the difference between the two characters and how, even though one, I don't want to spoil anything, but the way that the characters end up at the end, there's still one character that will be better no matter what, or will be better recognized. And there's little moments like that throughout this movie that give the hint that this movie easily could have been so much better, and that there's probably a way better movie underneath all of the terrible edits and reshoots. But still, the final product isn't great, and because of that, The Current War was kind of a dull and very much forgettable movie. I saw it about a week ago, and I'm having a very hard time trying to remember anything that happened in this movie. It's extremely forgettable, and unfortunately, it's not a movie anybody's going to be talking about. Nobody's talking about it already. Nobody talked about it when it came out. It's just going to disappear from basically the earth. I will give The Current War a 5.5 out of 10. Alright, that concludes my review for The Current War. So, what are your thoughts on this film, or what did you think of Me and Earl and the Dying Girl? Comment in the comment section below and let me know. I'm Robert Burke, and this has been The Clever Critics. Goodbye.